Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Stash Project. This is our May 2021 compilation video. For those of you who are new to the channel, first of all, welcome. You happen to find us because the algorithm was being wacky and actually directed you to our channel today. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you can hang out. We do videos every single week along with these monthly recaps where we go over the expected automotive plastic kit releases for the given month. And again, May 2021 here. So we have a few things that are being released here domestically, and then a few things that are being released overseas as well. Pretty much the normal standard fare here, as it would be. Here in the United States of America, domestic companies, Salvino's JR May kit is going to be the Junior Johnson Racing 1981 Monte Carlo. And this is a special, from what I understand, from seeing posts from the NASCAR know-it-alls. And that's not a derogatory thing. I mean, there's just people who know way more about NASCAR than I do, but then they wouldn't know anything about GT3 racing. So we're all even on that. At any rate, it's a one-off livery that was done at Riverside in 1981. Darrell Waltrip driving with a Mountain Dew sponsorship on the car. So that will be your May kit, as of course your April kit was the 73 and 71 Dodge Chargers. At round two, on the MPC side of things, you're going to reissue the 132nd scale Creepy Coupe. This is the next in the Wacky Racers Snap Tight line. It's the third of what I believe are 4 total kits in that series. This is the Gruesome Twosome with Big Gruesome and Little Gruesome. Molded in color with the high should say low friction wheels and stuff like that. It's a build and play. It was originally tooled up back in 1969, and they've never really been back around since then. So this is certainly giving a lot of nostalgia feels to certain peoples. And be interested if they release that last one. I've not seen it announced in the pending things that are coming in the next 6 months sort of list that floats around. So at least the three will be out. And then you're going to get a reshoot of the Ram Chargers AA Fuel Dragster. This was done back in 1968 originally. I believe the most recent reissue it was in an AMT boxing in the mid 1990s. Uh, Appears to be some sort of limited edition release, but from looking at the box art on the eBay listing that I found that on, it does have the Made in Mexico logo on the side of it, which would have been uh, mid 1990s when they moved a lot of the tooling from Dyersville to Mexico prior to it being, of course, sent to China in the end. There you have pad printed drag slicks in this, as well as they've retooled the windscreen. Um, I believe this kit shares bits and pieces with some of the other MPC rail dragsters from sort of gleaning through the conversations about this kit. And the windscreen was not accurate to the car, so they've retooled a new one for that. There's still debate about MPC accuracies in general on these things based on the fact that, they were tooled up in the long before and far away. And, they've kind of played a little fast and loose with the rules to try to get as much use out of the tooling as they could. So it is what it is. And, again, been a little while since that one's been out. Over on the AMT side, I think you're going to have 4 kits, or should say 3 kits this month. A reissue of the 1967 Ford Mustang GT. That is the origin kit, if you will, for the Shelby 350 GT or GT 350 that was reissued about, what is that, about 8 years ago, I guess, at this point. I've seen a lot of them getting built recently, but that's kit was reissued a little while ago. But this was the first kit that came out. This was a brand new tool. It was done back in 1994. Most recently reissued in the mid 2000s, 2002 in a regular box, 2004 in a Walmart checkerboard. Looks like it was a SEMA show special reissue that was done a little later than that, but that's not really a frontline release that you could have picked up without actually being at SEMA that year. So, yeah, any problems that you may have had building the Shelby kit are going to transfer into this one because, of course, this is the original tooling, and the Shelby was a modified reissue from this tooling, so know that going in. It is obviously not the annual from back in 1967 because there was a 67 annual, but this is not that kit. This is the newer 1990s tooling. You're going to get a reissue of the Infiniti, which is a weird drag racing with like the tall T cab on the back. It's tooled in 1971. I think that's pretty much everything you need to know about the origins of that. Most recently reissued in 2008. This time around, it'll have pad printed drag slicks, which wouldn't be available in the 2008 reissue. And yeah, so that's a thing. And then also going to get a reshoot of the Fruhoff tanker trailer, semi truck trailer. This time it's going to be plated with the Sunoco decals in it. Now the original tooling for this was done in 1970, along with most of the other AMT MPC trucks were all done really in that one little block of time from the late 60s into the mid 70s. This has been reissued a ton of times with a Sunoco livery once in the past as well. Most recently, this was done in 2011. As far as the plated version, where the whole trailer is chrome plated, for better or for worse, depending on how you look at that, because the tanker's in two halves, and now you've got a seam on a plated thing, which I don't know. That's really not going to look that great. But it is what it is. And then most recently, I believe it was unplated in 2015 when I had the shell livery attached to it. But yes, it's not any kit that hasn't been around for a while. But I believe as far as the version, because obviously their choice of chrome plated is, or not, is whatever they choose to do. But I believe the last time that the tanker body and other pieces were chrome plated was the 2011 release, and in which case you're looking at being 10 years since that was released that way. So it's been a hot minute, especially in terms of a retail sales thing. Yeah, they're all over eBay in a bunch of different versions, but again, well, I say Round 2 doesn't make any money off eBay, so they're only interested in the money they can make by selling it through your local hobby shop and Hobby Lobby and places like that. Going overseas to Japan, we should get the Japanese release, although I've not actually seen a US release of this. I've seen it float around. I've seen a few builds of the improved version of it by people who got advanced copies from Tamiya USA, but I've not actually seen the kit on sale as of yet, so technically may release for United States too. And that is the Mercedes Sauber C9 1989 24 Hours of Le Mans winning car. They've added PE to this, they've added window masks to it, and they've added cartograph decals to it. So a little upgrade to an older kit. That tooling is from 1989 as well. So it still hangs in there. A lot of the Tamiya kits, of course, were good kits back then, and they still hang out as being good kits. There is Studio 27 carbon fiber for that car. There's Studio 27, there's probably a couple other companies as well. PE for that car, so those aftermarket details, excuse me, should still be out there somewhere, and not too terribly hard to come across. Wouldn't necessarily surprise me if Studio 27 doesn't reissue both of those things in a limited quantity once this kit actually comes out in Japan. Over at Hasegawa, several kits this month rather, and you're going to get first off a reissue of the 71 Nissan 240Z in the Safari Rally winning livery. That's just a straight Reeboks. Reissue of the Mitsubishi Evo 3, and this time it's going to have a 1996 Catalonia Rally livery to it. That car finished 5th place in that rally. Be interesting to see what this actually looks like when the decals come out, because this is a tobacco sponsored car that has had the tobacco livery photoshopped off of it. So will they include the tobacco livery in it? They've done it in the last couple of releases that have had the forbidden graphics in it. They've just sort of split them up and turned them upside down and stuff like that. It'd be interesting to see if that trend continues. I'm pretty sure that there are Museum Collection, I believe, makes the decal set. It's not for the Catalonia Rally, but it's for another rally that this car ran with the same livery on it, where you could steal the Winfield tobacco livery out of it if you really wanted to make it, totally correct. But that, of course, ends up being the builder's choice. Next up, reissue of the Lancia Delta. This is the Astra sponsored 1993 1000 Lakes Rally car. Finished 4th. Be interested to see what wheels come in this kit, because the picture on the box has what it looked like a set of 8-spoke speed lines, and those are not the normal wheels that come with the Deltas in the first place as far as the kits go. And I don't know that they necessarily have an 8-spoke speedline in their collection, because there's a 7-spoke speedline that is in some of the Subaru Legacy Rally kits, but that's 7 spokes, not 8. Rege makes 8-spoke wheels, replacement wheels for the Legacy, which I'm assuming will fit, and not so much fit because all of the wheel fitments on all the Hasegawa kits are male fitment like Tamiya kits are, but I mean, I assume that they're the same wheel size and whatnot as the Legacies were. But that car finished fourth in it's a new livery that they have not done in the past. Reissue of the Subaru Impreza 2005 body for the 2006 New Zealand Rally. Car finished 11th with Valentino Rossi driving. This would be, again, just a reissue of that kit with a new set of livery in it. Reissue of the Suzuki Jimny JA71 with a custom resin grill. So not a resin girl, but a resin grill. And yeah, just a reissue of that kit with one new resin piece added to it. A reissue of the Toyota Starlet. What are they calling this here? The mid-type super limited. So this is going to be an amalgamation of all the parts that are already in the Starlet kit, made to be the, I guess it would be 1988 car, because I think this car ran from 85 to like 90, and they've done the early type, they've done a late type, and this is going to be the mid type, which again, the only thing that's been added to this is a resin steering wheel. Everything else, and a new set of decals, of course, but everything else is just, like I said, parts in that kit. If you have a Starlet, and especially if you got the most recent Starlet reissue, you'll see that there's a whole slew of parts you don't use in them, because there's certain this that go to that, certain hoods that go to that, and scoops that go to this and that, and different interior pieces and all that sort of thing. So again, no new, the resin steering wheel added, no new actual plastic parts, and you're just going to sort of recombulate, if you will, the parts that come in the kit to get your mid-type. We're going to get a reissue of the Nissan Fairlady Z432, which would have been a racing homologation version of the 240Z, and that is going to be Tokyo Metro Police. So they have done a police version of the ZG before, the long G-nose version, but not of the Z432. Z432 kit exists, so they're going to add police markings and the police equipment to this older kit, if you will. I mean, all of the Hasegawa 240Zs are mid-1990s tools, I believe. I think they may be a little older than that, but I think they're mid-1990s. Anyway, that's not really germane to the problem, as it were. But yeah, so that's going to be back out. They're going to reissue the Porsche 962C with the for Brunn Racing with the FA Turbo livery from the 1987 Spa 1,000 kilometers race. That car finished third in that race, so just a reissue of the, at this point, much like the various other Group C cars that Hasegawa keeps reissuing with different liveries. So the venerable Hasegawa 962C with a new set of decals, and then we're going to get the 1989 Toyota Supra Twin Turbo. So this is a reissue of the brand new Tool Supra kit. It's going to have a new front bumper on it, as well as a few other little bits and pieces in there. Some of those bits and pieces were already in the original kit, so technically they're not considered to be new in this kit because they already exist, but you'll be using them this time around where you did not use them in the past, and this will make a slightly later version than the original kit. Actually, a year earlier, isn't it, actually? Let me go back here and take a peeky. Yeah, because I want to say that the actual Supra that they already did was in 1990. But at any rate, a couple of new pieces there, and on down the road you go. Over at Aoshima, got a reissue of the 82 Toyota Corona 2000 GT, the 1980 Mazda 323 Familia, the 1983 Nissan Pulsar EXA, and those are all, I believe, old IME tools. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I personally would put these to bed and make new kits out of them. They think they sell well enough. I would love to have a good Nissan Pulsar. The problem with this Nissan Pulsar is it's kind of odd looking as far as the body proportions go. Yeah, you can't do that. They sell, clearly, or else they wouldn't keep reissuing them, but they probably would not sell well enough for a brand new one, so it is what it is. All right, so on the Tune Car listings, you get a reissue of the 1991 Mola Sports Suzuki Cappuccino and the 1991 RS Mach Honda Beat. So a couple of the old ABCK Roadsters getting a reissue with their tuner parts in them. And then the initial D series, you get the Inosuke Takahashi's AE85 Livin', which of course is a humorous story within the manga itself, because he wanted to have an AE86 like the hero car, and he accidentally bought an AE85, which in the parlance of the Toyota Corolla is a 1.5 liter economy car. Not that the 1.6 liter is like so much more powerful necessarily, but yeah, that's the difference between the 85 and the 86 in that. And basically, it was ha ha ha, you bought the wrong car, and he tuned it up and got it going in the series. But it's just a sort of a hee hee moment within the manga itself. And then you get Fujiwara Takahami's 86 from the volume 37, which is the one we always tell you to buy because it's the kit that has everything in it. Has the engine insert. The 85 does not have the engine insert in it, by the way, obviously, because even though those engines are externally the same, it would have had a couple of different underhood differences. So the volume 37 does come with the engine, and like I said, in addition to having the factory stock engine from the the Tofu shop car as it originally comes out in the initial D series, it has all of the tuner parts in it, where it has the open timing cover, the racing headers, the racing cylinder head, the racing interior, roll cage, all that sort of stuff. It includes like all the parts. If you really want to buy an 886 and build it anything resembling like factory stock in that sense of like not just going crazy with over fenders and stuff like that, because these kits don't have those kind of parts. But as far as all of the accessories for the racing side of things and want to keep it sort of more box stock than going completely crazy with resin, that would be the one to purchase. On the restock side of Aoshima's stuff this month, you get the reissue of the 82 Nissan Cedric Nissan Gloria Brome kit, reissue of the 1990 Toyota Cresta Super Lucent G, reissue of the 2001 R34 four-door Urus Type R, that's the new tool four-door R34 with the body kit that came out last year. Reissue of the 1994 Toyota Hilux Lift Up. Reissue of the 1993 Subaru Legacy Wagon Hippo Sleek, because you need a VIP wagon. Oh, wait, you want another one? Fine. How about a 1996 Honda Accord wagon in the Wings West VIP tuner version as well? Then a couple of Liberty Walk reissues. The Liberty Walk Ken and Mary Shodai, which is a tribute to what would have been the 1973 Nissan GTR race car, but because of the oil crisis, that was sort of the end of the GTR, both in racing and in real life, until it came back in the R32, and the car actually never raced in 1973. So it's a tribute to it, over fenders, all the Liberty Walk stuff, but it is a tribute to the what would have been the 1973 season car. And then a reissue of the Liberty Walk Hakasuga Works Shakotan Koyoji, a car which is the tribute to the earlier Skylines that actually did race back in the late 1960s. I don't believe this is a 1968 car. I think it's a 1969 or 1970 season car, but it is a tribute to the four-door GTRs that raced in the first couple of annual Japanese Grand Prix, back when that was not an F1 car race, but rather a touring car race. And then wheel sets, you get reissues of the 19-inch Workgnosis GS2, Workmeister S1Rs, VIP Modular VX S110s, SSR Executor, CVO1, and the SSR Professor SP1, SP3, and MS3s. Venerable wheel sets. Those seem to get reissued about every 6 months or so. And then on the 14-inch wheel side of things, you get a reissue of the Techno TRV, the Kaku Tekken Type 2, the XLs, and the Mark 1, Mark 2, and Mark 3 wheel sets, which of course are all from the Grand Champions and more Grand Champions series, which are about to be reissued next month. So there you go, guys. That'll cover this month's goodies. Hope there's a few things in there you purchased. I believe I've got the 3 new rally cars on order, as well as the Supra, the 962C, and I can't remember if I ordered the Starlet or not. The Starlet's one of those things where it's just different enough to be kind of vaguely appealing in the background, but it's like the 7th Starlet I would have at that point, and like, oh, my Starlet, so I really need it. It's I haven't managed to build the first one yet, let alone 6 more of them. So I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I'm going to pick up anything here domestically, and I'm certainly not picking up any of those Aoshima kits. So yeah, that's where we are for the month of May, and we'll see you guys on the other side.